Welcome back, day 10. Nice round number. We are talking, our prompt is My House a Sanctuary. And I think specifically for us during lockdown, we maybe re-evaluated what a safe space and what a house and a roof over your head and a place to lay down your head means to us. So I think that's an important feeling to capture in our journals. And so we're talking about fabrics, laces, trims. And as I mentioned, and to prove a point, these are tea cloths. They're cotton swabs, 4 rand each from Pep. Beautiful farmhouse colours. And they're textured. So I'm using the wood grain paper from the Prickly Pear pack. These sort of weathered wood planks are quite prevalent in most scrapbooking paper packs. So if you've got scrapbooking paper packs with these sort of things, it's also quite an easy texture to recreate in a journal with white paint that you dry brush on almost. So basically, if you can use paper to make something in a journal, you can use fabric. And disclaimer, and as my slow stitching video showed, I am not a seamstress. I have a machine, but I very, very rarely take it out for journaling. Well, I very rarely take it out, full stop. I also very rarely take it out for journaling items, but it is something that I want to do more of because I do like the look. With paper, obviously very flat, unless you have a textured paper or you emboss or you add pastes or things. So adding fabrics, and we're going fabrics, laces, trims, ribbons, string, wool, all of those things it's an instant texture layer, and it can be the scrappiest little scrap of scrap that you use, or it can be, I've done whole pages as a fabric page. So really some interesting things that you can do if you start playing around and actively making the choice, can I use fabric for this instead of paper? I also got some comments that I never showed my slow stitching page. I don't know that I'm done even. I've added a whole lot of stitches in. I still want to finish stitching up there, but I just punched it and put it in my journal. So it's a page with no writing. It's just a pause with a whole lot of interest to look at. And then the back obviously is a mess. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a page over that and make it a pocket. Or actually, yeah, it is what it is. That's also fine. So I've also cut the little house silhouette on my Brother Scan and Cut. And then I've got a jersey and the label is Soft Surroundings. And that was such a nice term for me. So I think that'll be the basis of my page, because that is definitely what my house is for me, is a soft surrounding. You'll see my worksheets showing some distinctly non-farmhouse Christmas colours. I'm also working on Christmas cards. So busy. My favourite fabric ads are the Crochet Doilies. They are pretty readily available. Very often you get ones with holes or stains or whatever, and then you don't need to, this one's got a stain and it had holes. So just slice and dice them. Sometimes they ravel or unravel, but just glue them. And they're quite flat, right? So this one, you can also iron them. You can starch them with just starch spray if you want them slightly stiffer. But so instead of a paper doily, real doily. Why does it look like? Get that angle better. So again, I'm just going to layer things on the page, adding fabrics and things as I go, and to get some terms and things on. Another very easy add in terms of trim is page edging, so something like that. Braids, they all stick to the pages, and you can layer them because they're quite flat, so they all add. And I mean, even something like that's half offcut and offcut, just layer them. This is a slightly cooler tone page. I don't think I'll go with the creams, maybe just the off-white. And then one of my favorite again, the gauze. So this makes nice, you can pull them out as much as you want to sort of distress them into more fluffy nests if you wanted to. And then I want to see what I can do with my dishcloths. Now, if you have a sewing machine or you like sewing, go for it. Make pockets from fabric, make tuck spots, make envelopes, make flaps, stitch paper to fabric. So if you have a better skill set than me, the world is your oyster in this instance. If you only have glue in your wits, like me, try a bit harder. In terms of cutting up vintage fabrics and things, I know a lot of people cringe at the idea, but this one's stained. I generally soak the stuff in Vanish and all concoctions that I can think of, and hand wash and scrub and stain treat and the works. But some things actually, you just can't rescue them. So don't feel bad for giving them a new life, because otherwise what are you going to do with them? And in terms of vintage fabric, even like this serviette, there's a corner, the edging is all good to reuse again, and then whatever offcuts you have, you can stamp on, color on, draw on, paint on. So I find fabric very versatile. Is there something like too much fabric or trim or ribbon on a page? Probably. Don't ask me about it. This is a Tim Holtz word. Very obvious, but exactly what I want to convey. I've added a tassel. Again, this is just elements that I'm adding to really get a snug effect on the page. I glue gun my doilies, my crochet doilies, and I just put the glue on the areas that are denser, and then I like using the holy bits as places to hook on either paper clips or dangles or things, because they add quite a natural hooking place. Also, if you had done this the other way around, you could have easily had that as a little tuck. So again, if you are planning to make something in paper, ask yourself, can I also use fabric to make this? I think this page is a little bit small for what I want to do today. I'm finding that I'm going bigger and bigger. So I'm going to use one of my eco dies from yesterday, purely because I like the black, and I'm just going to cut the more grungy bits off. I do like the blue side too, especially the lines and the lines, but I've not done any blue in the journal. But I mean the grey and things, maybe. I also like the symbolism that this is sort of a contained thing in the whole world. Plaid check fabrics are very, very good additions to anything farmhousey, so keep that in mind. And this has got the blue then, so then I think I'm okay color-wise. It's just to make it work in terms of layering. I generally don't mind fraying the edges or frayed edges, but if it's something that you don't like and it's a style that you don't like, you can either just fold it around and glue it, or iron it, press it so that it stays to get a neat edge. Or if you've got an overlocker or something like that, you can do it, or you can cut with a pinking shears. Incidentally, actually, I think pinking shears on Farmhouse Rustic will give a very nice effect. The thicker fabrics, it's generally okay to use glue gun. You shouldn't have any transfer of the glue coming through. The other alternative is fabric glue. Darla does a fabric glue, or iron-on adhesive strips that you can iron your fabric on. I've cut a piece out of my kitchen cloth, and I do actually like the feeling of it a lot, and especially the colors that it's now echoing, and it's making like a sheltered thing of the house. I'm going to do a little fold, so it's a upside down pocket, for a little journaling card to go in there. But I think I want to do some stamping or writing here, and then I'm going to add the tassel. This was a gift from Mirinda in a swap, and it's so beautiful, and the color is just perfect, so I'm very happy with that. But now what have I done? I've got trim, I've got fabric, I've got another fabric, I've got another, what is that, trim fabric, and another one. And then, I mean, it won't be a page if I don't do my very, very, very favorite ruffle pleat. So that's a lot of trim and a lot of fabric and a lot of texture, but the colors are all repeating. So I don't think, if you are going to go overboard with an element like I am, that they must be all different. You need some repeating element. I've used an extra big eyelet to secure the flap, and then that also gives me a space to tie the tassel through. Remember we spoke about eyelets in the shine video, that they also add an element of bling, and then here we've got, and also the actual threads. So we've got very matte cotton, the eco dye, and then the little bit of the shine on the tassel. So those are also nice contrasting elements. I've added my big ruffle. That's one of my favorite elements, if you can't tell yet. Some little flaggy tabby things, no purpose except they can probably be a tab. I stamped some text words. I did stamp an outline of Africa because it is home, but I didn't want it to be like too much of a thing. This seems a bit open for me. It's probably okay, but I'd like a circle, I think, like a wreath maybe, because there's been circles on all the other pages. And then I've got this edge piece with the little houses with the hearts in, which I think will probably look quite nice as an edge piece there, but it's slightly more pink than maroon. I think I can get away with it though, because it's far, so I think I'll add that just all the way up here. I just want to show you an example. These tags I've done with very exaggerated silk strips. So with an upside down tuck like this, the tags would also go in upside down. So if I didn't already have a lot of fabric elements, do you see that the oversized tag tie-offs would also add a lot of nice texture? So that's also an easy way to incorporate strips of shirt, strips of old sheeting, anything like that. Very easy. I've tucked in a selection of small journaling cards, some with a little bit of foiling on, and some just plain, and some in the colorway. These I got in swaps, so that'll be a nice bit of journaling space. And they do sit in there, you don't really see them, but it's quite a big tuck spot. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could also tuck, if you had folded the fold. There you go, like something like that. There we go. I think I'm going to call page 10 done. I added a bulb pin with 3 little feather charms. You know, for me, feathers, nesting, birds, that whole imagery pulls through on my journal. This I'm still thinking is a bit pink, but it's not the worst. I mean, the houses and the black and things are okay. Some textured trim. The little nest is a very simple, just winding strings in a ball. I added some text, and then the little journaling cards. So quite a lot of fabrics and quite a lot of layering, but you could even have done another piece of lace over there, trimming that. I mean, you could have gone crazy with given the house, some grass. So really just try and think of using fabrics and trims more and in a slightly different way. They add really nice detail to a page. Tomorrow, day 11, our prompt is trees. So you can talk about your Christmas tree, just trees in general. And we're doing some layered clusters and layered embellishments. We've started touching on them, something like this, but tomorrow we're going to go all out. So gather your scraps, bits and pieces, papers you've cut off or torn, or offcuts of ribbon, your gutter pieces, your tiny little, I don't know what to do with a square of scrapbook paper, all of those things, perfect for layered embellishments. Thanks for watching, thanks for showing your pages, and please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Bye-bye.